think they're trying to keep us distracted. It's free to pay attention. Yeah.
Don't be distracted by the beams that people put into play. Instead, focus on the freedoms people tearing away. It's all confusion. They turning UFOs into UAPs. To test the public on the subject, change the mood and see how we react. Knowing we've been visited back before Egyptians stacked stones with exact mathematical dimensions with attention to match. Before the days of Pangea when the continent cracked. Stupid humans just been covering tracks. Earth is just a puddle in the sea of what's been attached. I know a couple hybrids living on the planet. In fact, they might be living next to you. You ever think about that? Be the vibe. If you're feeling lost, tune to the tone. We might be living in a dome, but we're never alone. Send a rocket to the moon, let it curve on its own. It's a distraction, but that's all that I can say on this phone.
We're caught up in a blue beam, distracted by design, while shooting down illusions, indoctrinating minds. They wanna see us panic, to put us back in line. The people have awoken and see right through the lies. It's all a distraction. It's a part of the game that we play. They don't need a reaction. Don't you give them the strength, meditate. It's all a distraction. But the people are finding a way to take positive action and spread truth to the ones that
Hidden
relate.
right in plain view, blueprint has been laid out. Played rat in the maze, getting stuck in the same route. Lost, feeling exhausted, breaking the frame down. So breathe, raise your vibration and phase out. Resonant, every thought's related to fate, and they don't want to let you know that you decided to be great. Who's that? Good question, start checking your mate. They play chess, not checkers. In the darkness they wait. Peep the games that they playing. Using holograms till they got the praying, and that's all that I'm saying. Project Bluebeam and the plans that they laying get me hotter than the flames that surround Super Saiyans. God like the godson that be star bright. Living in the fractal, speaking to evolve like an oceanic alien. The no more is on sight, reminding you to never get distracted. It's alright.
We're caught up in a blue beam, distracted by design, while shooting down illusions, indoctrinating minds. They wanna see us panic, to put us back in line. The people have awoken and see right through the lies. It's all a distraction. It's a part of the game that we play. They don't need a reaction. Don't you give them the strength, meditate. It's all a distraction. But the people are finding a way to take positive action and spread truth to the ones that relate.
See, it's divided, so they feed us negativity. They put it on the plate and we just eat it up for dinner. See, we allow the panic but never address the lunacy. The current currency gotta be some foolery. It needs to flow with unity, flowing with opportunity. Abundance is a class and I'm waiting for God to tutor me. Teach me and let me reach all the people that need the guidance. Allow me to give them visions of all this positive knowledge.
It's all a distraction. It's a part of the game that we play. They don't need a reaction. Don't you give them the strength, meditate. It's all a distraction. But the people are finding a way to take positive action and spread truth to the ones that relate.
Don't get distracted.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another live episode of Codega's Codex of Curiosities with me, Rye. Just me for tonight. I might have Brad come on later on. We'll see how that goes. We'll see how we're faring solo. And so tonight's episode, I'm going to be diving into spiritual warfare because I feel that this is such a important topic for us to hit on. It seems to be ramping up, or is it just that we're paying more attention? I think it could be a little bit of both. That when you start to really see it for what it is, you look back and you're like, okay, I had a lot of spiritual warfare going on, and and people sometimes get distracted by that, or not distracted, but they think some things are, some things aren't. But I feel that we're almost everything is a battle for us, for our attention, for everything. All right. So, and just before we head into this too much, I want to give some shout outs to, all the listeners, all the viewers. Well, in the live chat today, we got Tim, we got Kel, we got Easy, we got Michelle, um, Amber as well, and hopefully, and Jackie jumped in at the very beginning here as well. So, shout out to everyone who's in the chat right now. I know we'll be getting some more here as time goes on. So, yeah, I am Easy saying, tell us your fun stories. I do have some stories that I will be diving into when we go into this spiritual warfare of sorts, and we're going to go into actual possession, what I believe to be possession. I don't know why I've overlooked this so many years. It was blatant. So we're going to go into that, and we will see what that is. Also, if you, the viewers who are listening and are watching as well, if you got any stories, by all means, pop them up in the chat. If you have any questions as we're going on, make sure you guys pump them up in that chat there. And by that I mean, make sure that you put them in all caps so I know that you're posting questions to the chat. All right. So before we get into that too far, like I was saying, spiritual warfare is the topic for tonight. This is something that I feel that I've been battling with a lot lately. It's something that it's something that I know is prevalent within my life more and more, and and perhaps it is maybe because I'm stepping out a little bit more. I'm seeing it more for what it truly is, and I feel though that the more I step out, the stronger it gets. And it can be as simple as these little temptations, but they're always trying to drag you away and drag you down these dark roads that maybe we shouldn't be going on. And I think it's key to recognize them for what they are. But that's not the full step though. It's also taking action against it. It's also making the right choices. If you have made some bad choices in your life, and I am guilty of this as well, we should acknowledge them and realize that. And I'm not trying to blame my bad choices on, oh, it's these demons, I was possessed or something like that. No, it is my willpower, which is, my ability to make the right choices that we have. And yeah, it's harmony. And yeah, Jackie, I believe there is a lot of spirits around us, and I think that we're trying to be influenced in many ways. And this is a topic that is kind of getting dear to me because it's something I'm moving away with further and further. I used to be really tight with the new age. For those who don't know, I read tarot. I did divination as well, shamanic work. But I feel though that we have to be careful with this. I feel that divination and tarot, which is something that we should not be doing. And that's big. That's big for me to say because you don't know my tarot oracle card collection. I still have a lot. I moved a lot of them with me when I moved to Mexico, and they've remained in a shipping container. Well, not a shipping container, in a container that I shipped here. And I haven't. I had a couple decks that I pulled out, but I haven't really done what I used to do. It's. I think we just have to be aware of that. Now, a lot of times as well, and I'm jumping on all these topics now, but I get a lot of people asking about AI. Is AI evil? Is AI Nephilim? Is it this? I I believe it is a tool. Okay, it's a hollow tool. and how it is used is something that we all need to be aware of. Okay. If you're using it like, hey, basic statistics, or asking it questions like, in comparison with this and this, what is this? I need you to search for this, give me the information on that. That is just the same as you're going to find with a browser like Google, or DuckDuckGo, whatever you want to do that. Now, what we when you start using it for divination, that's when I think we start dabbling in a world that maybe we shouldn't. That is when I think we start inviting in things that and going places that we just shouldn't be going. Now, I'm still working on that. I'm still struggling with that. Okay, not with AI, but I'm talking. Sir, I'm talking with like tarot and divination. It's something that you know was part of my life for many many years, and I am walking away from it all. It's very, very difficult. Now, okay, so I'm just going to go through some of these because I see a ton of messages coming in, and Nance Hardwick is here. We have Brandon as well. Who else? Who else has joined us tonight? Yeah, tarot cards are useful. A layout is like a mini snapshot of reality right now. It is, Tim, and I agree with you. It's I'm working into this. I'm getting into this where I'm starting to believe now that it's something maybe that we shouldn't. We shouldn't take a snapshot of the future because the future is always fluid. Um, Maybe perhaps that snapshot of the future will cause that future to be more prone to happen. And then we lose a little bit of our free will because I think that's one of our greatest gifts is our free will. there are We have free will to choose whatever we want. Perhaps if we have these tarot, and I don't really truly know where I sit with this yet. I'm still struggling with it. I feel that perhaps maybe if you're given a snapshot of the future, maybe it persuades you to do one thing or another. It's quite a difficult choice to really look into this. And like I know there's a lot of tarot decks that's like like Mother Mary tarot deck, Jesus tarot deck. I don't say tarot deck, I'll say oracle cards. Um, and it's how we interpret them. So and like I said, I have piles of them, and I was getting paid to read people's to do readings for people as well. People were paying me, online. I was getting I wasn't like JoJo's Psychic Alliance or anything like that. But people were paying me to do their readings, and I had a pretty good track record with it. I'm not saying um, that I was like this gifted medium or anything like that, but it was just a lot of things that happened. Um, yeah, it's I and let me say this though, I do believe that we are gifted. Like we have gifts, we all have these gifts, and some of them we kind of practice with a little bit more. But again, we got to be careful in how we're using them and what we're using them for, because there's many times that we will get pulled into or sucked into something maybe that we shouldn't be doing. Trust your gut. Be aware of everything you're doing, and like I said, it is constantly a spiritual battle out there. And when people think a spiritual battle, some people believe that they are like this, kind of like that picture I posted, like this demon, this skull, and then this beautiful angel, or something like that. But I don't think it is that black and white. Don't mind the pun on that one, so to speak. I think we are more of, what am I going to say? We are more of, it's very jaded. There's a lot of gray area. It's kind of like that the meme, or I used to have a T-shirt that said, welcome to the come to the dark side. We have cookies. It's kind of one of those things where they're going to try to trick you to come over there. They're going to praise you, to make you feel special, to make you feel good. Don't get me like, and I've said this before, like we are all special. It's not like you are special and you are special, that one person only, and this one person. No, we are all special. So when someone's coming and said, like, you are special, you are the chosen one, you need to be aware, especially if you get into especially if you get into the area of maybe you were raised or you have a lot of trauma. Okay. You have a lot of trauma when you were growing up. And what happens with that is we're looking for acceptance. We're looking for to be part of a family. We're looking to be part of this. So we have to be careful, especially those who have had these situations. And it is so hard for you, so hard. If you have struggled with abuse, with any type of abuse, whether it be SA, whether it be, mental, verbal, physical, emotional, we all need we all need to be careful because you I were much easier to be pulled into this. And I feel that it's something that can happen. So we have to be extremely aware that we don't fall for this. We are already special. We are already part of a family. Don't ever forget that. I think maybe sometimes that family maybe that some people were born into or were born into isn't the exact perfect family that we want, and so we go and search for another one when in fact it's already there. That family's already there. You got to come home. Okay. So I was going to tell you guys about some experiences that I'm going to talk to you about, the spiritual warfare, things that I've encountered. Now, one second, I got to close that window. That dog is barking like crazy. I'll be right back. Yeah, easy. I agree with you. To control your own mind is the first step towards freedom. I think it's discernment of realizing what are your thoughts and what are some outside thoughts. And not all outside thoughts are bad because God speaks to us, Jesus speaks to us, but demons do as well. We have to make sure we know which one is which. Extremely hard discernment. Okay. Good to see you too, Spirit and Truth. Excellent. And who else? Anybody else that I missed? Linda. Good to see you, Linda, as well. Who else? Who else did I see? I think I got everybody up to par right now. Okay, so I'm going to rewind my life back about 20 years. Wow, that is crazy. That it's 20 years ago this happened. Okay. So I was with my first wife. We had bought a house. Built a house. I did a lot of work on that house. So for those who don't know, I worked in construction for many years. So put a lot of time and effort. So it wasn't like this was a haunted house or anything like that. Now things started happening in this house, and it might have some association with my ex. My ex has had a dark, troubled past. Okay. Not saying I didn't either, not saying I didn't bring any of this in either, but I'll do a quick little synopsis of her. At the age of 14, 15, her best friend offed herself. I don't know. I know we're not supposed to say the S word, but she unalived herself. So that was the first incident. Then my ex's first husband, they were going through separation, was waiting in the house with her with a gun, and they were in the process of moving out, and he was in the basement, and they like walked in just after he did it with a long barreled rifle. He kind of did himself in as well. He unalived himself as well. And the theory was that this person was her ex, actually, and I don't know. This is just what I've been told, that they thought that he was waiting for her to take her out as well. So there was two unalivings in her life already. So then we get to, and after that, when she had moved back in with her parents, they had to actually get an exorcism of the house because there was some sort of spirit. They thought it was him, the ex-husband, who was haunting this house. And through the, and again, this is me hearing what happened through the priest up against the wall and kind of like lifted him up against the wall as well. So this is what we're kind of dealing with. There is a very dark cloud around this person, and I saw myself as the knight in shining armor, and I'm going to rescue. Never do that. Everybody has to rescue themselves. Okay, that's a lesson I'm still learning, is that we are all responsible for our own inner demons. And maybe you can have a little bit of help from outside, but it's up to you to deal with your own crap. Okay. So like I said, 20 years ago, we were living in this house and incidences started to occur. One of those things that started to happen was my ex-wife's daughter, so kind of my stepdaughter, she got extremely ill, and I never put two and two together. I was just like, oh, she got sick, and that's it. But we're talking for almost a couple of months. She was sick. She barely could go to school. We're doing a lot of homework, bringing a lot of homework home. And hey, Dano, how you doing, buddy? So we were bringing a lot of homework home, and because like she was getting very extremely weak, couldn't even really get out of bed much anymore, and we were taking her to specialists. No one could come up with a reason as to why she had gotten sick. It had gotten to the point where she was seeing some specialty doctors, and I never went to this one, but the one doctor was yelling at her to stop faking. They said, "You're faking, stop faking." And again, let's take a look at this. Could it be something else? Could it be that you're sick? Or could it be that you're sick with a demon? Could it be sick that you're possessed? Could it be sick that you have such a bad attachment? Now, this isn't the wife. This isn't the ex-wife. This is the stepdaughter. So there was finally one evening. I remember this. My stepdaughter was laying in my bed, in our bed, and like pale by the side, just trying to get her liquids and everything. And nothing. She was like barely taking anything. It was like crackers and water is what she was sustaining on. I went into the office and I was sitting in the office, and I remember like I started to pray. And for those who don't know, and I'll continue with the story. Actually, for those who don't know, I was born and raised Catholic. I don't want to say I had a falling out. I just went my own way because of free will. And at this point, I would say I wasn't religious at all. Was I into any type of occult things? Not really at all. I enjoyed watching a ton of paranormal shows, though. That was one thing I always loved doing. So, yeah, right, Brandon. What kind of doctor says that thing? Maybe that does happen. Maybe some kids do. Maybe some people do fake this. But so back to me sitting in the office, and I was starting to pray. And I'm like, God, you got to do something here. There's something going on. I don't know what. Something is going on. And I had my head down, like slightly. The computer was just off to the side here. And that is when I saw this black thing in the corner of the room. It wasn't on the corner. It was like where the ceiling and the wall meet. So not in a corner, but where the ceiling and the wall meet. And it was like black, sticky, smoky kind of thing. Like it was very like, it was like smoke, but it was also very like stretchy kind of thing. Like not like well, maybe like Venom from uh which yeah, from Venom. Sorry. A symbiote or something like that. Uh but it was very like stringy, like maybe when you're like pulling like silly putty apart, kind of like that, but also smoky as well. And it was in this corner, and it kind of was growing, and it kind of was like growing in this whole area and wrapping around. We didn't have like a 90-degree corner. It was a 45 and a 45. It was kind of going around there, and it was big. And at this point, then I started calling out, and I was like, in the name of Jesus Christ, get out of this house. I am the master. This is my house, and you are not welcome here. Get out, get out. And I started like, I don't know, like ministering to it, deliverance of sorts. And at that point, it dissipated and it was nothing. And within under a week, it wasn't instant, but within under a week, my stepdaughter my ex stepdaughter, I don't know what to call, but was better, just like that. And I still never really put those things together. Like like, yes, that's what I thought it was. Like I thought it was something. I thought it was maybe like the sickness was manifesting into something, but maybe the demon was manifesting into a sickness. So yeah, so it was quite this cast a spell through using the Bible as a grimoire. Yeah, kind of like that. I didn't have the Bible or nothing with me. I didn't have crosses or anything, and it was just the commandment, like knowing I had authority, um without even really knowing it, because it like now I know that that if we have authority over these things. I know that now, but then I didn't. I just assumed authority of sorts. So this thing had left, and I at that point I was like, okay, like, and it was very strange because I was on edge for quite a while, thinking that like she's gonna get sick again. And when she did get normally sick, I was like, okay, here we go again. Here we go again. But no, no, that was it. It was done. Now, fast forward a little bit further, still maybe about a year after that. Um, we weren't actually married at that time, but we got married while we're living in that house, and that's when things changed again. Things started happening in this house. So, and I don't want to say it's exactly at the witching hour. Everybody's like, oh, 3 a.m. So I would say anywhere between mm, midnight, maybe around 1 a.m. to 4 a.m. in that period. So of course it is during the witching hour too, the 3 a.m. to kind of like 3:59. Um, in the bedroom that and that's also where my the stepdaughter was spending a lot of time, because we wanted her near us. But in that bedroom, we we had a ceiling fan with a light on it, and the light had a remote, so you could control the fan, you control the light, you could dim the light and everything. So what started happening was, and I always sleep with a fan on. I always have a fan on. I got a fan on right now. I love having the wind moving, and I like the white noise as well. Just that gentle hum. Maybe it's to drown out the spirits. No. Okay, so back to this. We are sleeping, and over the next 6, not days, not weeks, but months, the light and fan had a life of their own, going on and off. And like the fan would pick up intensity and slow down, and pick up intensity and slow down. The light would go bright, dim, bright, stay on. And this is happening while you're trying to sleep. Okay. Now, if I went and turned the switch off, it wouldn't happen, of course. But if that switch was on around those times, now it happened a couple times during the day, through that whole period, maybe a handful, maybe 5 or 6. but we're talking just about every night or every other night this was happening. Now, you talk about like losing your mind and thinking that you're going insane. That was one of the times in my life where I swear to God that I was I was losing it. I I was like, I am going insane. What is happening? It would not stop. We my ex at the time had gotten a uh some holy water. And she did this before we moved into the house too. She kind of like went around and did holy water, and then she did it again. Um I saw a decrease, but not as substantial. Like it wasn't like, well, I guess it was substantial enough that I noticed a decrease in the intensity as this happening. So this went on for about 6 months, and like again, praying, you got to make this stop. This has to stop. Eventually, it did. Um, it it was one of those things that I tried to literally block this out of my mind. I don't talk about this very much on the show. Like I've talked about other things that have happened to me. This one is one of the few things where I've had yeah, that's a psychological attack. Am I going insane? Exactly. Now, there are some things that happen to me as well where recently where something happened and I was like, what is going on with me? Am I going insane or what's happening? But I believe that was not an evil thing. It was a vision of something else, which I've talked about many times. Um, okay, so before I go any further, I'm just going to check out any comments here. Casted a spell using the Bible as a grimoire, healing spell through exorcism. That's kind of it. You know, calling on the name of God in the name of Jesus. Your righteous intent was enough. That's it. Your righteous intent was enough. It was the intention. Intention is the key. Make sure you guys always like remember that intention is key. I don't think this was a very powerful spirit or powerful a demon, because I was without much knowledge or anything. I think, and this is me, you know, this is me being kind of like generous. I think I casted it out in a way, or I assisted in it and something else helping it to leave. Okay. So it was with making that intention, speaking those words. Hey, Brad, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you. My Brad, my Brad, my buddy Brad from the Awaken podcast is here. So good to see Brad. And earlier we had Dano from the Cryptic podcast as well. All right, so I'm going to keep continuing with the story. So like I said, this was going on for a long time. And I believe that this here was spiritual warfare. Like Tim was saying, it was this psychological attack to wear you down. Am I going insane? Now, events kept on occurring in this house. There was one time where, and this has happened before, where I've had a spiritual demonic attack where it's made me violently ill, like almost like instantly, and we're talking like vomiting and whatnot. So and for those who don't know, I'll tell you guys, most of you don't know. If I feel sick, my go-to is the shower. I always will just jump in the shower and running water over top of me. Just I don't say it cures me, but it makes me feel better. So, what did I do that night? I jumped in the shower, and I was in the shower for like half an hour. It was cooler out, so lots of hot water, just kind of, and you just like, okay, like letting it go. Hey, Lisa, how you doing? Yes, hydrotherapy. That's kind of what it was. It was like a hydrotherapy. So let the water running on. And when I exited this shower, that's when like the water taps on. We had a jacuzzi tub, like a soaker tub as well, that wasn't on the shower. And I came out and the taps were on and the water's running full blast. And it was kind of like, what is going on here? And I'm starting to get spooked out. That night, my ex had her friend stay over, and I had developed the basement, had a bed down there and everything. And she, when I got up early because I was feeling not like, I just needed to get out of bed. I got up early and there she was, not downstairs, but sleeping up on the couch. And so I was like, well, she wasn't sleeping anymore. I was like, hey, how's it going? Like, you didn't like sleeping downstairs? She's like, no, I just wanted to be upstairs. I'm like, okay. And then later she tells my ex, she's like, yeah, there was something in your basement. She said there was an old woman in your basement. And she did not feel safe sleeping down there. This person, Jessica, was her mother was a gifted medium psychic, and pretty sure the abilities that she possessed passed on to her daughter as well. Now, just for some background again, because I told you about my ex, and the kind of like, I don't want to say Black Widow, but the trail of tears, we'll say, that has followed her. So we ended up separating, and it had gotten to a point when, and this is kind of funny, Tim, you're saying about psychological attack, am I going insane? With my ex, at the end of this all, I thought I was going insane. There was a lot of things that were happening, she was doing, that I swear to God, I'm like, that's not, like, there was this delusion that was being thrown onto me. And even her daughter was like it was this craziness that was happening. But after I left, she started dating someone else, and lo and behold, I think it was about a year of them dating, he unalives himself as well. There's this trail of a darkness that has followed her, that I personally feel that I escaped. I feel that my world that I had built came crumbling down completely. It was crazy. But it was crazy that she has this world of darkness that follows her, and I hope, I pray that she will find solace and she'll find peace with that, because that is crazy. Yes, Lisa, energy vampires. Now, that's something, if we're talking about spiritual warfare, I think energy vampires are a huge part of this. Now, I believe there are conscious energy vampires, and I think there are unconscious energy vampires. Conscious ones are the ones that are doing really well. Now, those are the ones that perhaps you don't know why they're doing so well. Kardashians per se, they're definitely, well, I feel that there's bloodlines with these things as well, but I feel that when we are sitting there, and especially now, it is a form of worship when we're sitting there and we are watching videos, shorts and reels of videos of me, but no, of these people who aren't really doing anything beneficial. They are providing a life maybe that you wish you had, and you are there worshiping them, of false idolatry. We are worshiping. Oh, thanks, Michelle. Yeah, me too. There are many times in our life, I think we've all faced things like that, where we feel that there might have been the chance that we didn't make it out, but I did. Oh, BJ, good to see you. Good to see you. Um, so we are faced, yeah, so back to these energy vampires. I believe that we need to be very aware for them, and we're worshiping them when we are watching them on our phones, on our devices. We are feeding them energy. So be careful, because, well, we're feeding them our time. Okay. And time is our life. Really, in reality, we only have a set amount of time. Like, you have a limited amount of time. And what are you going to do with that? Are you going to give it to them? How are you spending your life? And this, when I was younger, and even recently as well, like, this is something that you don't consider, but your life, your time is your currency. Okay. And there is that one absolutely horrendous movie called, I think it's like Just in Time or something like that, or In Time, where they have their life on their arm, and it's kind of like how many minutes they can buy and they work for and everything. It's true. It is really, really true. is it, like I said, a terrible movie, but how are you spending your life? How are you, um, you know, what are you exchanging your life for, your currency? So just be careful of what you're doing. When you catch yourself doom scrolling, such as I have so many times, you just gave away an hour for what? And that hour might not mean anything to you now. But maybe if you tack that on to the end of your life, or you take that hour away at the end of your life, that could be a lot. An hour here, there. We're looking at maybe a year. We have doom scrolled for a year of our life for what? So be careful of who you're giving your energy to for those energy vampires, because they are all out there. I think someone had said narcissists. It's exactly like a sicko narcissist. Yeah, exactly, Lisa. That energy vampires, narcissists, hand in hand. So we gotta be careful. Be careful of who we're giving these your energy, your life to, because it matters. It really does. It matters to your family. It matters to you, and it matters to the family that you chose. Okay. All right. So let's continue on here, and when we're talking about this spiritual warfare, and one last thing. Oh, if Brad, if you are in the chat, send me a message here. I can't do it tonight, man. I'll tell you about it later. Oh, no. I was going to. Brad might have been coming on, but unfortunately, he is not feeling well. So Brad is not going to come on, which is fine. That's fine. Hopefully he is doing well. So a narcissist, I just saw someone who posted that, saying, I don't even know what a narcissist means. And that's fine, because that term gets thrown around so often. Some people don't even know the true meaning. It's a person who has like, they're overly interested, and they overly admire or love themselves to a point that it's a fault. Don't get me wrong. It is good to like yourself and to love yourself. You should. Everybody should, but it's to the point that you're making sure everybody else knows, and you're trying to your actions are always about gaining more and more admiration, because you love yourself so much that you want more and more for yourself. You're the only thing that matters. So be careful of that. Avoid them at all costs. Be in control of with whom and how you spend your precious time. I agree. And I want you guys to understand that when I'm talking about this, it's not like I live this perfect life, and oh yeah, this is like, there's so many people who like preach all these things, and you think, oh man, that no. This advice that I'm giving, it's pretty much, there should be, well, as I see myself in the screen, it's directing it to myself as well, because I need to work on this stuff always. I need to improve. I need to be aware of how I'm spending my life and my time. Make sure you're spending it with the ones who you love and that love you, the ones that you chose. Okay. All right. So let's go back into the spiritual warfare. And I was talking about going insane, like the psychological warfare with Tim Houston was talking about, where do I feel like I'm going insane? And I'm sure everybody has heard this story that I've talked about, but I'm going to talk about it once more, because I think it's imperative. Because what was happening at that point when I felt that I was being attacked by some sort of entity. Um, some people would be like, "Oh, you're being psychically attacked." I don't like psychically attacked would be from possibly another person. I don't believe that was a person at all. I believe that was some sort of entity of that was attacking me. Um, Also, another thing is that, like, when this was happening as well, I'm going to talk about like the fan and the light going on. I took the battery out of the remote, and this was still happening. Um, and it's crazy because you start getting paranoid. I started thinking it was my neighbor. Like, yeah, my neighbor's up at like 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m. Got some sort of device that can control my fan. I still remember that I actually thought that. And I was like, it's got to be him. It's got to be him. It's got to be something, because you are trying to figure out what is causing this. You're trying to decipher. You're trying to, make sense of it. Um, that time, I wasn't fully on board with it being demonic. Not be able to put these things together, and it just and like I think Tim was saying it was like possibly that you had mentioned much earlier that you think it was maybe the house, but I wanted to make sure that people knew that I built the house. Um, Maybe it was the land. That could always be something on there. So who knows? Who knows? Now, all right, everyone. So I'm going to jump to that one event that I was talking about that I thought I was going insane. I thought I was losing my mind, but I believe that this was a gift, a vision of the other side. So what had happened was I I had, and it sounds so mundane how it all started. It sounds so like what? So I had pulled into I had pulled into a spit it out, right? I had pulled into a grocery store, pulled up to a grocery store, not in, because I was parked on the street in front of it. And it was just a small hole in the wall grocery store. And as I was getting out of my car, just before I exited the car, I started to see these bright lights. And I'm giving putting this notice out, spoiler alert, that many people are like, oh, that's an ocular migraine, something I have never had. Okay. And I'm going to describe an ocular migraine to you all, because I'm just gonna look this up here. Ocular migraine. Okay. So an ocular migraine is also known as a retinal migraine. It is a temporary eye condition that causes visual disturbances like blind spots, flickering lights, or vision in one eye. Now, the episode usually lasts under an hour and may not be followed by a headache. While often harmless and short lived, it is crucial to see an eye doctor to rule out more serious conditions like a stroke. Now, symptoms are visual disturbances. These occur in one eye and these occur in only, oh, this is interesting, only one eye and can include blind spots, flickering lights, or temporary vision loss. That's interesting. I never actually read that. Now, causes. The exact cause is uncertain, but is believed to be related to spasms or reduced blood flow in blood vessels of the retina. Triggers can be similar to other migraines, including stress, dehydration, lack of sleep, and high blood pressure. Risk factors include a family history of migraines and being female. Okay, I have family history of migraines, but I'm not female. Um, okay, so now some of those things, what I saw now was, hey, Linda, how you doing? Now, and Linda says she's had them as well. Okay, so Linda, I want you to, by all means, call me out on anything that I'm going to say, or just say, no, that's not or that is, or that isn't. I am open to this as well. So what I saw was a triangle. Okay. So it started to go up like this, and then down like this as well. And then there was an edge that connected it. So imagine a triangle in your vision. Now, the edges of the triangle were, the best way to say this was like rolling plasma. Okay. It was, these were very bright. It was alternating between colors of like yellow, orange, pink. I don't think green, but yellow, orange, and pink, and whitish as well. And it was like rolling over onto itself. It was kind of like rolling over, maybe a little bit of like a spray off of it. I don't know, kind of like maybe like a diffusion of it a little bit, but for most part, it followed this triangle and here as well. And I'm like, what the heck is going on? I have no idea, because if it is a ocular migraine, I've never had one ever in my life. Okay. So I pulled up to this place because I need to get my bacon and my cheese, because they had the good prices on bacon and cheese at this at this grocery store called Donasuza. So I get in line, and about 50% of my vision is now obscured. I cannot see through that triangle that I was talking about. Now, the inside of the triangle, it's blurry. Okay, I can't see anything. Now I'm standing in line, and I'm like, let me check my eyes, because I thought that was a good thing to do. So I closed one eye, still see it. Close the other eye, still see it. I didn't go like both eyes though. I should have done that, but I only did one and one. And it was at this point that now I can see through this. Okay. And it's not that I can see through this and see the grocery store. No, I see through this and I see a different place altogether, not where I'm at. Um and and the corners are still, I mean, like the edges are still exactly like I explained. But now what I see is this barren landscape. And this isn't me like, oh, I see with my mind's eye and like, oh, I can imagine this. No, I see this. I see this rubble strewn ground. Okay. I see on my left hand side, I see a wall, a cinder block wall, and I can see a roof above me as well. This looks like an old warehouse of sorts. Okay. So it's a metal type of roof, like joists or like the frames that are holding the roof up, and the roof is metal. To my right, there used to be a wall. You could tell that the wall has been blown in, blown out, blown in, and it's kind of strewn all over. And that is the rubble that's all over the ground. And it was cinder block. I'm making this assumption. It was cinder block, and it was like they're broken and corroded or eroded over time, so they weren't like sharp edges. It was more of like smoother pieces of the rock. Now above me, I can see the sky. Now the sky, and I know I've told this story a bunch of times, but it's something that's dear to me. It's like, because it really did affect me. Now the sky is moving quite fast. The clouds, it's incandescent. It's an incandescent light, so I can't see the sun or anything, but the clouds are moving very quickly, coming at me like this. And also, everything in this place is a brownish rust color. Everything. Okay. So you can see, and I did something here. So I'm going to show you guys here in 2 seconds. Now you can see off now. So yeah, you can see, like I said, the sky moving. Off in the distance are these extremely large industrial style looking fans. Some of them are stacked too high. Some are just one, and they are encased in a large box. Maybe, yeah. So they're encased in a large like case holder that's grilled, and you can see the blades just slowly moving. They're not moving to the same speed as the clouds are moving or flying by. Now, I'm going to share with you guys a picture of what I am looking at. Okay. So this here is what I'm looking at. Now, when we're talking about spiritual warfare, this plays a big part into it. So you can see the ground is strewn with rubble, and I used AI to help discern this to help to create this picture. There were big industrial fans. They don't look exactly like them, but they were much further off in the distance. And like I said, some were stacked too high, and they were slowly turning in a counterclockwise fashion, just slowly, just turning very, very slow. And what was certain, though, was when I was looking, I was at a fixed point within this. Okay. Oh, and then I got to switch back to my other screen here. So I was at a fixed point staring at this, no matter where I moved in this world. So I could look around, and I was, think of like someone put a web camera in one spot, and that's all you can see. You know, even though if you're looking around like this way, all you could see is that one. Is this related to my fan obsession? That's a great question. Could be. Uh, so that is what I could see with this one location. So I finished getting my bacon and my cheese, go up to the till, pay for it all. I still am seeing this. Like I said, I can see about 50% at this place, 50% around it. I'm starting to get terrified at this point. I am thinking I am going insane. What is going on? Now, if Linda's still in the chat, well, Linda, is there? Yes, I agree, Linda. It's like a break in our dimension. That's exactly what I felt. Now, is this any way similar to an ocular migraine? Do you see things in an ocular migraine? I I don't think so. So the ocular migraine kind of stops at the shapes and colors, and that's it. There's nothing usually through it, through the other side. So that's where I'm like, okay, this is something more. Um, so I drove home, not being able to see completely clear. It was during the day. It wasn't very busy. I did not have to drive very far. Could this be your third eye? I don't think so, Lisa, because this was as real as anything else. Now, I've had visions of other things happening. I know what you can see, like how your third eye sees. This was not. This was like as real as looking through that window and seeing something else on the other side. So it was extremely crazy. So I drove home, parked the car. I came in and I told my wife, I'm like, I got a headache, which I didn't know what an ocular migraine was at that point. I just said, I got a headache. I need to lie down. And so I laid down. And at that point, I prayed because I was now a little scared because this is all I'm seeing. And I'm like, what? I think I'm having like a psychotic break here. What is going on? So I pray to Jesus and like, you need to take this away because I I can't deal with this. This is something that I just don't know. Yeah. So I did that, and within 1 minute, this was gone. So it's really strange that that happened. Now I have an idea of what I saw, and I have an idea why I was allowed to see that. Now I'm just going to share with you guys one thing here, very quickly. Let me just share this. So before I get into that, I want to share because I used AI again because why not to try to give it that picture that I saw to give it a little bit of movement. Yeah, here we go. Here we go. You guys are going to like this. Share my screen once more. All right. So this is kind of what I was seeing. So the fans are moving in the clockwise, but remember they're moving counterclockwise. The clouds were flying overhead like this, a little bit faster, and this is very similar to what I was seeing. Okay, and again, it's not exactly like this. AI can only do so much. What I believe I saw, what where I thought I was able to see, and this is purely me being like, this is what I believe I saw. I believe I saw the place where the disembodied spirits, the demons reside. Okay. So this is where these demons live, which is a wasteland, a barren wasteland, wandering aimlessly. Now, you wonder why they possess us. I don't. So, Linda, it's not hell because the disembodied spirits actually can't go to hell. They can't go to heaven. They are stuck in like a limbo. They are stuck in like the abyss, and the outsides of the abyss actually is kind of where they are. And this is what I believe I saw. Maybe actually it could be hell. Maybe it could be like the Dante's Inferno, one of the levels of hell. This could have been a level of hell as well, but I I don't believe it. I believe that this was this barren wasteland that they spend almost not eternity, but a very, very, very long time, um, unable to satisfy their hunger, unable to satisfy their thirst. Now, what they do is they will come into our world and possess us. Now, the reason, another dimension or the other side of our realm, maybe, or on the other side of the veil, demon prison. That's exactly what it is, BJ. But they're able to break free. Okay. They're able to break free. And yeah, I believe that they tried to get us this way. That's exactly. They break free and they attach to us. I think we have a lot more possessions than we truly do know. I think there are so many minor possessions that we don't even know. Like that, like addictions, certain addictions. Like there's some really bad addictions. There's some really, like drugs and alcohol and pornography. They can really destroy people. But there's other ones, maybe kind of like a sweet tooth. I have a sweet tooth, which I do. That it's driving us to partake in these things that we shouldn't. And it's not like you can't have candy here and there, but it's to an excess. And the reason why I'm saying this, because these demons cannot satisfy their hunger, cannot satisfy their thirst. But if they possess us, they can feel, they can taste. Their hunger can be somewhat satisfied in a way because they can taste it. They can partake in what we partake. They can partake in like the in the flesh. They can do some things that maybe not some things. They can do things that they are unable to as well. So we just got to be aware that there are levels of possession that we don't even know about, that we have to maybe start making ourselves aware. And it's not like, I got a sugar demon. And no, it's kind of like we have to take responsibility. And, we allowed that in. And it's up to us. We have to make sure that we say, we have to be willing and want the removal of these. We have to make sure we choose good. We make good choices. And from there, we can start to exercise ourselves. And then from there, we can help others. We can help others through our own experiences, through our own transgressions. So if one is filled with the Spirit, it is already occupied and the negative spirits cannot go in. But we invite them in. Why? Okay, so this is the thing, Lisa, is that we invite them in. That goes back into the legend of vampires. They are not allowed to enter unless they're invited in. So we have invited them in one way or the other, whether it be through alcohol, when you're drinking spirits. We have invited them in. They are not allowed to come in unless we invite them in. So there is always room for more, unfortunately. Perhaps maybe that is why we're seeing such a, and I'm guilty of this, I'm overweight. Maybe our body is compensating for, and this is a reach, I'm just throwing this out there. Maybe our body is compensating for the amount of spirits that we're inviting into ourselves, and we're allowing these things in, because I've invited in a little too many. and again, that's just me throwing out ideas. I don't know if that's a real reason or what, but we got to be careful of that. So this is the spiritual battle that we're facing. This is spiritual warfare that we're always facing. We have to discern everything. There is always the state of fear they want to put you in, the state of necessity, like you wanting of things that you don't need or want. It's constantly in this fear of in this, like, you're always in a state of needing more, wanting more, and not being satisfied. We have to make sure we are satisfied, with what we have. Be happy with what we are. We have to love ourselves. That's a big thing. That is a huge thing. If we're not loving ourselves, we're inviting in so much more. We're inviting in the approval of others to be our approval of ourselves. So we always have to be careful. This is a battle that I'm always facing. It's It's a daily battle. It's not like you do it once and that's it, and then you're good to go. It is constant. We're constantly being bombarded by all the negative out there. And this all ties in with everything. Okay. Everything. We're talking aliens, we're talking Bigfoot, we're talking paranormal conspiracies as well. There is everything is tied into the spiritual battle. It really, really is. It's when you start to look at it, there's so much more out there. And of course, I'm going to say some things that are going to bother some people, but I'm coming on board with aliens aren't our friends. They're not our galactic family. Now, I know I'm going to piss some people off by saying that. Maybe there are some, okay? But if you are being abducted against your will, if you're being forced, if you are being paralyzed, forced, abducted, memories stolen from you, time lost, they're not your friends. If, let's just say, some random guy picked you up off the street, conducted experiments on you, brainwashed you to make you forget what happened, and then let you go, would that be your family? Would that be a loved one? Would you want them to come after you again and be like, please, please? No, we have to have this discernment. And maybe because we're getting attention, maybe because we're actually getting attention, maybe that's what we're striving for, what we're missing, and we're being given that attention. And we just need to be aware that that's not the attention you want at all. We are a family here. I'll say that right now. We are a family here. We all understand that we've all been through some crazy, crazy things. Okay. And I'm not going to abduct you. I'm not going to run any experiments on you. I'm just going to try to show you the truth of what I believe the truth is. And in the end, it's up to you to make that discernment, to decide whether, this truth is your truth. But like, we're being bombarded with so much truth that it is extremely difficult, and it's manipulation of truth. And I wrote something years ago, like when I was like 19, I wrote this and I said, I can't see the truth because it's concealed by its lies. There's so much truth with that. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Sounds like, yeah, exactly, Danny. Sounds like relationship advice. All attention is not good attention. Kidnapping is not affection. It sounds comical. It really does. Because when we call it kidnapping, when we say alien abduction or we say kidnapping, aren't they the same thing? It's exactly the same thing. So, if they ask, like, okay, now I'm going to say this because I know there are some people who really believe that aliens are galactic family members, and perhaps maybe some of them are, not all of them though. But if they're like, hey, we would like you to come with us, will you come with us? Yes, I will. Okay. Can we, you know, put this little chip in you so we can monitor you? Well, it's up to you. I would say a lot of us don't want to be monitored. We don't want any chips in us. We don't want maybe this mark of the beast or something. I don't know what it is, but asking for permission is part of it. If they are abducting you, and like that's telling me that maybe there is something good with these, or no, not good. I don't know what to say, but they have to ask for permission. They can't just take you, abduct you, conduct experiments, because that is not right. Yeah. Okay. Where was I? I'm totally way off in left field, but I think I'm pulling it. I think it's all coming together, that this is all about spiritual warfare. Nonetheless, there is the dark entities, the dark side. There is the light side. The dark side is always going to be trying to tempt you. Always. Any type of temptation is your choice is your chance to make a good choice. Any type of temptation, any at all. Okay. If you have morals inside and you're being tempted to do something that you shouldn't be doing, I wonder why. We always need to. Linda, I've changed my mind over and over again about aliens, cryptids, and Bigfoot. I come to the same conclusion as you. So Linda, I had a person who was my friend at one time, but they seem to have unfriended me. Maybe it's because of my political views. That it is what it is. She was the first one to plant this little seed of aliens being, demons or dark entities. And that was maybe 2 years ago. And I was like, oh, I don't think so. Well, lo and behold, I'm jumping on, I'm getting pretty close to being fully on board with that. Yeah, yeah, exactly, Tim. Possession includes permission as well. Yes. It's all about inviting these things in. It's all about this invitation. And that is why that's why what is it? I say you guys should be careful of welcome mats on the outside of your houses, because maybe, just maybe, you're giving something permission to enter your house. We got to be careful with that. And what did you see Carol Ann's cover of Travis Walton's Abduction? No, I didn't. Kel, if you want to share that with me, by all means, please do. Would love to see that. Okay. So, like I was saying, guys, we are in a spiritual battle. We have our creator, we have God, we have Jesus Christ the King. That is my savior. He died for us. So we now have that power to be able to, ascend into heaven, and make sure we make those right choices. Make sure we make those right decisions, and stop giving things permission that should not have permission. Okay. Be careful of everything we do. LOL. Get a doormat that says "Go away." Yes, exactly. Lisa, I had when I had this other merch store, I actually had floor mats that said "You are not welcome," or "Unwelcome." This is my unwelcome mat. Yeah, we got to be careful. Be careful with that. We are always giving invitations and allowing people in, and we have to be careful. All right, so that's a little over an hour, everyone. I am thinking I am wrapping this up here. So if anybody in the chat has any questions or wants to say anything, also shout out to BJ for jumping in there. I did not expect her to make it, which is perfectly fine. But I thank you, BJ, for coming in and all the work you do. It is extremely appreciated. Do I have something? For those who are watching, I have something. You guys, I want you to check out this. This is BJ's book. Please take a look. In a world where legends stalk the shadows, one dogman's story rises above the rest. His name is Josiah Wolf, a creature born of brutality, haunted by nightmares, and driven by a mysterious calling. This is a tale of survival, vengeance, and revelation. Step into the world of the Dogman, if you dare. Excellent. So, you guys, if you're looking for a book, go check out BJ's book. BJ, did you put your link in in the comments? Please, by all means, throw that in there. Go check out BJ's Amazon. Right? Yes, I did the book trailer. I like doing things like that. It's fun. Because BJ's my moderator, I will help her out because she helps me out, and I really appreciate that. But if you guys are looking to help me out, I have my Patreon. It's ad-free audio content. I think it's like $6. If you upgrade, I think, to like the $10 mark, Then after a year, if you are in Patreon for a year, I will actually give you an advertisement as well, just like I did for that, and we'll be putting it in some of my shows. So, not only do you get free content and you support me, but then I'll be supporting you as well, and we'll get you out there. If you look at the reach that I have, I think we're over 7,000 subscribers on YouTube. On Spotify, we're over 2,000. Apple, we won't talk about Apple. Hey, if you guys are Apple listeners, make sure you subscribe, because it's crazy how low that is, that subscription, in comparison to everything else. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I have my upcoming episodes. I have some conspiracy episodes. I have I just dropped today the audio for the JFK assassination, which is not what you're going to think. Okay. So the JFK assassination, I didn't know too much. I talked to a gentleman who is a conspiracy theorist, a truther, but he believes that the JFK assassination went exactly how it was stated to have gone. Not that there was outside influence with Lee Harvey Oswald or anything like that. We're pushing that aside. But the actual assassination itself was pretty much straightforward the way it ran. So it is very interesting. A very interesting conversation. I have a couple other ones. I have some new guests coming on. I got some big names coming on. And for those of you who enjoy Blurry Creatures, tomorrow I will be featured on Blurry Creatures on members only episode, but I'm going on Blurry Creatures, which is yeah, that's so cool. Blurry Creatures are amazing. So looking forward to that. All right, everyone. Anybody have any questions? Sorry, I haven't been engaging too much in the chat. The only reason it's not that I don't like talking to you guys. I just get distracted. When I get distracted, my train of thought just goes off in a complete other way. But shout out to everyone, Tim, Linda, Nancy, BJ, Kel, Tim, I said, who else was in there? Yeah, Christine. Oh, Christine. Okay, I missed this message. I don't even trust L.A. Marzulli anymore. That's interesting. Christine, if you're still here, I would love to hear why, because I'm open to hearing why, and that's one thing that I think everybody needs to be open to. We need to listen to another perspective and not just shut it down and say, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not listening. We always need to listen. Don't ever follow someone blindly enough that you're not willing to see their faults. And that goes for presidents. It goes for vice presidents, former presidents, former vice presidents, celebrities, musicians, podcasters, everybody. Listen, always, it's okay to call someone out. It's okay to call someone on something. And if someone is strong enough in their convictions, they will own up to what they've done, even though sometimes it's really, really hard. It really shows you. If someone's able to own up to what they've done, that is the biggest thing. I have a feeling about him too. No real evidence. Okay, so I really, I'm good friends with Vicky Joy Anderson and Karen Wilkinson, and they are associated with L.A. Marzulli. But what I will say, L.A. has some really interesting information, but a lot of times his shows are infomercials. Okay. When I've had him on, he really likes to tell you to buy his book. That is what I would say. Tim, he is very sure of himself. Yes. Buy my book. Just check out the book. Buy the book. Subscribe, buy the book. It's very difficult to have a conversation with him. Maybe after doing hundreds and hundreds of interviews, he just kind of gotten to that point where he's like, why am I doing these interviews? Just buy my book and read it. But that is, and LA does quote Bible. He does quote the Bible. So that is what I would say. I would say LA is a little bit of a narcissist, but does not change my opinion on my really good friends, Karen Wilkinson and Vicky Joy Anderson. Vicky and I, we text weekly. I would say not daily, weekly. She is a fantastic person. I don't know if I'm supposed to say this, but she's having another book coming out soon. So keep your eyes open for that. That'll be in a little bit. Yeah, that's not a good business plan. Do the danged interviews. Exactly, Lisa. Okay, everyone, let's call this a night. With that, if you enjoyed the show, what I ask is you don't have to do my Patreon. That's fine. But the biggest thing that helps me, like, subscribe, comment. So not just on this comment, but comment on the show after, and whichever one, share the show. That's the biggest thing, actually, is just sharing the show with other people. That's it. It's free. It just takes a little bit of your time, which we're talking about earlier. Do you want to invest some time into me? I don't know. Into the show. I would greatly appreciate it. And I'd say thank you. All right, everyone. With that, keep your curiosity wandering, keep the light lit, and always find your way home. Oh, I wasn't ready. Find your way home, everyone.
Beneath the stars where shadows grow, the Nephilim's echoes whisper low. Bigfoot roams through the forest deep, and Dogman prowls where the brave won't sleep. Across lost history we wonder why, seeking the truth that time tried to hide. Keep your curiosity wandering and the light lit, through the darkness don't ever quit. In the Codex, the mysteries come, and always find your way back home. UFOs streak through the velvet skies, aliens watch with unblinking eyes. The paranormal hums where silence breaks, in the void of secrets a lantern wakes. Through hidden realms and stories untold, the cold gas flame is a light to hold. Keep your curiosities wandering and the light lit, through the darkness don't ever quit. In the Codex, the mysteries come, and always find your way back home. UFOs streak through the velvet skies, aliens watch with unblinking eyes. The paranormal hums where silence breaks, in the void of secrets a lantern wakes. Through hidden realms and stories untold, the cold gas flame is a light to hold. Keep your curiosities wandering and the light lit, through the darkness don't ever quit. In the Codex, the mysteries come, and always find your way back home. Legends rise from the Earth's deep core, a lost legacy we can't ignore. With every step, the veil grows thin, revealing worlds where the strange begins. Keep your curiosities wandering and the light lit, through the darkness don't ever quit. In the Codex, the mysteries come, and always find your way back home. Giants, cryptids that call,